Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. Let me bring this a little bit closer. There we go. How is everybody tonight? First of all, let me just say yesterday we were having internet issues. I wanted to do my live stream last night, and we just, a while ago, probably 3 weeks ago, my dogs decided it was a good idea to chew on the internet cable. And so I had taken duct tape and got that kind of squared away, and it was working. And I guess it just kept getting weaker and weaker. So the last 2 days we've been having a little bit of issues, but then it was working. Well, yesterday it was just not going to happen. So I had called. We have Spectrum out here. It used to be Time Warner. Now they're Spectrum, and so we called them, and they couldn't come out until today to fix the internet. So what I was like, okay, I said to Heather, let me try something. So I pulled all the duct tape off, and I used electrical tape, and it wasn't working. So then last night, probably about 11 o'clock, we had shut off the power for a little while, and so we turned the power back on, and Heather goes, "Oh my God, Dad, the internet's working." So we got it like at 11 o'clock last night. So I was like, oh well. So that's why I did my video this morning, and I wanted to let you guys know what had happened and why I wasn't on yesterday. So that was the whole, the situation with that. So I wrote myself, I got like one of my little binders here. I got a bunch of these. I love these things. These are great. You get these composition notebooks for again, it's just something you get at the dollar store for $1. They're absolutely awesome to have. So I got myself some notes in there so I didn't forget to talk about what we're going to talk about here. But so anyway, before we get started on the topic, again, I just like to go over this in the beginning of all these shows just to be real clear with everybody. Please be kind to each other. If you're not kind, I do have moderators that will definitely boot you out, and you will be gone. So it's not going to be tolerated. No racism, nothing, no negativity, no meanness towards anybody. And if anybody starts that, like I said, you'll just be booted out and you will be gone. So just making that very, very clear. We're a big family here, and I think that people need to realize that we want to, that's what I'm trying to do here. We're a huge family all across the United States and around the world. So, we really, really should work together, and that's important. So the second thing, once I'm done talking, if you guys have questions, I would just ask you to please put them in all caps so that that way, like I said, if you have questions, just do it that way, and that will work out really, really well. It stands out more for me, so when I'm looking for questions, I can see them better. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about this devastation that has happened in the Midwest, how it affects them, and how it affects the rest of us. Because I think a lot of people are not really realizing how impactful this really truly is. Okay. So I'm just going to run over some numbers real quick, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff. So we're going to talk about 3 states, and we're going to only talk about 3. We're going to talk about Iowa, Nebraska, and Missouri. Okay. Hey, Rennie Steps, thank you very much. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. I am doing very, very well. Actually, it was funny. It was really, really sunny today, but it was cold. So I think we hit a high of maybe 37 today, but it was like the sun was out. It was beautiful. So it was actually really busy day for us today. Really, really busy. Okay, so we're going to talk about Iowa first, okay? Right now, they're estimating that the loss of money in Iowa is $1.6 billion, which will probably go up, okay? You're talking about 57 counties have been declared disaster areas, and they've lost already 12,000 homes completely destroyed. They got 25,540 homes that are damaged. So think about that. I mean, just that's just Iowa. And again, that number is definitely going to go up, okay? In Nebraska, they're talking right now, again, this number will probably go up as well, $1.4 billion in losses already, okay? Missouri has no estimates yet. They haven't even done estimates yet. And in Missouri, you have 120 roads are closed because of flooding. You have the Missouri River has crested. They're saying it was going to be cresting on Friday at 32.02 feet, which is just short of the record in 1993 of 32.7 feet. So we're talking inches away from that peak crest that they had in 1993. Okay. And you're talking about a lot of levees that have didn't hold. I think, let me see, I got the number down here. I think it was 70 levees Let me just see where I had put this on here. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, about 70 miles of levees in Iowa alone have been destroyed. To fix that, they're talking about $350 million. Okay, so you're talking about a tremendous area. And the biggest problem with the Army Corps of Engineers is the one, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is the one that deals with those levees and stuff like that. A lot of these farmers did not get very much warning, or they got no warning ahead of time. So basically, they went from having like 2 feet of water coming in, and then the next thing you know, they're like 7 foot deep with water. They're trying to save themselves. The loss of livestock alone is just absolutely tremendous. And here's the problem too. Like a lot of places like Iowa with the soybeans and stuff like that, like 1 out of every 3 or 4 rows of soybeans is normally shipped over to China. But right now, because of the trade wars, a lot of these farmers were holding onto the stock and had it in silos and had it back. They were like a higher amount back, like 8% higher in Iowa, 13% higher in Nebraska. They were holding these crops back, hoping that the trade war would end and the prices would go up. And now they've like lost so much of these crops because of water damage and flooding and everything like that. So you're talking about just crazy amounts of stuff going on. Again, in Iowa, more than 100,000 acres of farmland is underwater right now. So I want you to think about that, put that kind of in perspective, how huge of an area that is. And, so it's absolutely crazy. And there was talk that like almost 50% of these people will probably not recover, farmers, from this. This is not just something that's going to be a little bit of a time. This can go into the summertime they're talking about. So there's not even guaranteed that they can get the crops in the ground this year. Okay. The other thing to think about is the damaged farm equipment. All the seed is going to be damaged. You're talking about basically the area that's been affected by these storms produces about 38% of the crops that we feed ourselves and the world in our, like that. So, hey, Rennie, thank you again for that. Greg Hunter lives there, U.S. watchdog. Oh, okay. I did not know that. And thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. But again, you're talking about a huge area of our country that's going to be affected. So how's that? So that's right now, these people are having an SHTF situation. I had some people came on today when I talked a little bit about it earlier today, and they were like, oh, that's not an SHTF situation. For these people, it is, guys. If your home is under 7 to 10 feet of water and, your farm is destroyed, your livestock is destroyed, your crops are destroyed, your corn and the soybean and all that type of stuff is destroyed. I mean, think about how are you going to recover from that? I mean, it's very devastating for these people. And I'm going to tell you what, I want to say, my heart goes out to them, and they're in my thoughts. It's a horrible situation for these people right now. Now, I will say, because somebody asked me to mention this, and I want to mention this because I think this is really important. Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, no looting going on, or very little looting going on in those areas that are affected. You're talking about farm country, folks. So you're talking about generally decent people that watch out for each other. So there hasn't really been any kind of looting out there at all. So, my hat's off to them for that, because that just shows you the kind of character that they have. The other thing I wanted to talk about too, they're talking that not only will it affect this year's crops, because they're not even sure if they're going to be able to get the crops in the ground this year. Okay. It'll affect next year as well. So you're talking what's going to happen to the prices of everything now. The prices are going to go skyrocketing. I mean, it's just going to get crazy. The price of everything is going to go up. So, everything is underwater. You can't steal anything. Well, you'd be surprised what people will be able to do if they want to, so. Here, get more ammo, Rennie just said. And again, Rennie, thank you again for the donation. Yeah, definitely load up on your ammo, that's for sure. There's no doubt about that. But we're going to think about the thing, too. The topsoil, guys, if that topsoil is all getting washed away, that doesn't just replenish overnight. That takes a long time. People have to work that soil for a long time to get that soil just right. And when you have that flood come in and it takes that top layer of that topsoil off, you're talking a long, long time for recovery just for that alone. And so this is definitely an SHTF event for these people in that area. And it's going to trickle down to the rest of us, not just in the United States, but also around the world, that, you know, China is going to be affected as well because of the fact that we import so much of that out there to them. The prices are going to go through the roof. And it's really, really sad. I feel, like I said, I feel awful for the people out there. And now, so I had mentioned, you know, the fact, again, if you're living in that area that's prone to flooding, how you should, you know, store stuff and put stuff away. And somebody's like, well, that just shows you shouldn't build in, you know, a low-lying area. Well, that's where the farmland is, guys. I mean, what are you going to do? You know, realistically, what have I talked a lot about that we need to really work on in this country? Infrastructure, okay? That goes for levees and dams. That's a big part of infrastructure. So we need to protect these areas because these are the parts of the country that feed us, okay? And I think people don't realize that, and because it doesn't affect them directly right away. Down the road, like I said, when you guys see the food prices are going to be going up, it is going to be crazy. And so my advice, again, to anybody right now, and I've talked about this for a while, guys. I mean, I don't like to say premonitions, but I've had this feeling for quite a while. And I've talked about this before in other, you know, in videos, and I think I've talked about it a little bit on live chat as well. We need to have food. You got to stock up on food. Something in my gut is telling me, keep adding, get more food, get ready. Again, how do we do that? Okay. I'm going to give you an example. You know, again, beans and rice. Okay. Great example. Price of beans, guys, and all those different types of beans is just going to go up through the roof. Thank you for the donation. Yes, and I am up on the hill. That's why I'm going to tell you what, guys, when I picked, and thank you for the donation as well. When I picked my location, I picked it very, very strategically. I wanted high elevation. I did not want to be in the valleys. For flooding was the number one reason why I wanted to be on higher elevation, you know, so that we wouldn't be affected. You know, like if we had flooding here and if there was 10 foot of water in the valley, we would not have 10 foot of water here. Our land would probably be saturated, but we would not have the issues that the valley would have, you know. And so that's definitely, you know, something to think about. Do you got the water running? Okay, no problem. Because my pump is right up here. So it's like right above my head, and that pumps the water in from the holding tank. So when she's running the water, it'll kick on. So sorry about that, guys. But again, it's like, you know, it's going to trickle down to us. So my advice is load up your rice, your beans, your pastas. If you know, those are things that are real, like elbow macaronis, spaghetti, those type of things. You're talking 30 years. Those things can last a long, long time. So get them while you can right now. Okay. Your freeze-dried foods, you know, get them while you can. Your canned goods. Now, somebody had made a comment today in my video earlier that I made, and he said, yeah, I had to get rid of I gave a lot of my canned goods away to, he said, a shelter because they were getting ready to expire. There's a misconception with that, guys. I didn't reply then because I wanted to make sure I did it in the live chat. Canned goods will last a long time. They don't expire, okay? What canned goods have on them is a best by date. So what does that mean? That means that if it's not used by that date, it starts to lose nutritional value. Doesn't mean the food is not good anymore. It just means that it starts to lose that nutritional value. So, you know, it's, you know, they don't expire then, okay? So those canned goods can last you 10, 15 years, 20 years down the road, as long as that can is not swollen. Hey, Rennie, again, thank you very much. You don't have to worry about irrigation. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. So that's and not up here we don't, and that's why I'm here, you know. But anyway, you know, you just again, it's I absolutely lost my train of thought, guys. So I apologize. But anyway, you know, getting the different things that we're talking about canned goods. So your canned goods will last a lot longer than you think. As long as that can is not dented or swollen, or when you open it, it smells really, really bad, you are still going to be able to eat that. So it's going to be okay. It might not have all the nutritional value that it did, but if you're starving, guess what? That's going to be delicious. Okay. So, that's one thing I wanted to mention today as well. So you want to have your canned goods. You want to have your dry goods. You want to have your spices. Okay. You want to have your honeys. Honeys are indefinite. They pulled honey out of Tutankhamun's tomb that was 2,000 years old that was still edible. So think about that. I mean, that's a pretty good shelf life, okay? There's a lot of things that you guys can do. Again, the freeze-dried foods, you can get those. They're going to be good. It's a 30-year shelf life for that as well. So, or not a 25-year shelf life, I'm sorry. But again, it's just, get your gardens in. Again, I've talked about gardening a lot. Learn how to do it now. If we get into a really, really bad situation and the food's not available, you're going to have to rely on yourselves much, much more. Hey, Rennie, again, thank you very much. Thank you for the donation. Rennie's on a roll here tonight, guys. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it, though. Thank you. But anyway, guys, so, we're facing a major, major crisis with this. And this is something that's going to affect these people, because here's something we got to think about, too. The Dakotas, Minnesota, still have a ton of snow up in that area that have not melted yet. Okay. When that melts, that's all going to come down into the Missouri River, into the Mississippi River. Those are going to be affected. This is just the beginning. And there's other snow in other areas that still has snow, an ice pack. I think the one place had at least 10 more inches of snow. That's all going to melt, and that's all going to affect. So we haven't seen the end of this yet. So these areas are not even close to being done. And so it's going to be a long, long time before these people are able to, hopefully get things back in line and to be able to get out there and get some crops in the ground and stuff like that. And so it's definitely going to affect this year, possibly next year. And if you think about 50% of the farmers out there may just call it quits because they can't do it. They can't afford to do it anymore. That's scary. And so who takes over then, right? Those big conglomerates will buy up the land and they'll take over, and then they'll put all kinds of poisons and everything else in the plants. So, it's just very, very sad. It's a very, very sad situation. A lot of people's lives are affected. And again, I've talked about this a lot. SHTF doesn't necessarily have to be, oh my God, the big ones here affecting all of us, okay? SHTF can be something that affects you directly, individually, your town, your county, your state, like what's happening right now out in the Midwest. So, let's keep all these people in our thoughts, and for the people that pray, please pray for them, okay? No, Rennie, I'm not getting mad at you. Not at all. I'm just messing with you a little bit. But thank you again for another donation. I appreciate that. No, that's fine. I have no problem with that. How long is a delivery of legacy food from your website? Okay, if you're going to order legacy food from my website, there's two ways to pay. You can pay by PayPal, or you can pay by Authorize. If you pay by PayPal, the money's available right exactly as when you put your order in. So then I can take that and put your order in the same day. I just had somebody made an order today. She ordered some eggs and some milk. Okay. So I already put her order in. Once it's into the company, they normally have it out pretty quickly. And when I say pretty quickly, I mean within 3 or 4 days, they're shipping it out. And then generally people get if they put their order in, like now with Authorize, let me just say that too. With Authorize, if you go through Authorize on my website, Authorize will hold that money for 2 days before I even get it. So, and that's 2 business days. So like if you do it on a Saturday, I'm not going to see that money into my account probably till Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, I can get that money available to put that order in, and then it extends stuff. But like I said, if you use PayPal, if you make an order and you use PayPal, that money's available right like that, and then I put that order in. So when I get orders that come in, if they use PayPal, they go in right away. If they use, like I said, if they use Authorize, it takes a few days. Again, that's your personal preference, which way you want to do it. But I just want to let people know that PayPal's faster. Usually you're looking at from the time that you order, if you do PayPal, usually within 10 days or so, you're going to have your order, depending on how, what the size of the order is and how fast that they ship it out. I mean, I had some of the orders from from the sale here that we were just having, which actually ends tonight, with the 183 meal bucket. I had the one guy, he ordered in the morning. I put his order in right away because he did PayPal. They had already put the order in and shipped it out that night. So it was that fast of a turnaround. And I think that he got that probably 2 or 3 days later with the shipping and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's pretty fast. Okay. So that's, like I said, especially if you use the PayPal version of paying. So, hey, Lauren, thank you for the donation. Snow in high country Colorado has now started melting, record flooding. Yeah, again, I know you guys got hit really, really hard there as well. So, that, and thank you again for that donation. I appreciate that. You guys got a ton of snow up there in the Colorados. And again, once that melts off again, you're going to have a lot more flooding. And so, that the low-lying areas, guys, that's, obviously that's the chance that you take. Oh, thank you, Rennie. Thank you very much. How many eggs do you get from your chickens? I don't have any chickens yet, but generally the rule of thumb is once the chicken matures and they start laying, you generally get 1 egg a day. That's not always every day. So you're looking at, for the chickens, depending on the season, summertime with more sunlight, they're going to lay more. That's why you really should have a light in the chicken coop through the winter. That's why I put the windows the way I did. Once we get the chickens, let's say if I start out with a dozen chickens, I think that's probably in the range that I'm going to start out with. I'm going to start out with 12. And, I'm going to be looking at, once they start laying, I'm going to be looking at almost a dozen eggs a day. So, and basically what I want to try to do with that, I want to sell the eggs, obviously. They're going to be, nothing is going to go into those chickens. It's going to be harmful. So they're going to be very organic eggs. And I'm not going to sell them for more. I'm going to probably sell them for the same price that, the stores sell their eggs, but they're going to be better eggs. And so what I want to do is, take whatever I get from that to go right back into feed for the chickens and stuff like that, especially like in the winter months. In the summertime, so, I want to actually build like a chicken tractor as well for my chickens so that they have, I can put them in there and move them to different parts so that they can work the soil and get the grubs and the bugs and do all that type of stuff. Eggland eggs. Yeah, right. Right. I hear you. Have you thought about raising bees? Yes, I actually have. That's definitely on my list. I do want to do bees. I want to put the bees actually higher up on the hill behind us, so that I do want to do that as well. That is on the list, guys. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, if you actually saw my list of the things that I want to do here at the homestead, it's going to be quite extensive once I really get into it. But could you do a how-to on canning at home? That would be beneficial. I've actually done a couple videos, guys, on canning already. We did applesauce in the fall, and I actually did applesauce the previous fall as well. We've also done some videos on doing pickles and stuff like that as well. There will be more canning videos coming up, though. I definitely will be doing more this year as well. All right, so. But anyway, it's like going back to the problem in the Midwest right now. Think about all that water that's out there, gasoline in it, toxins, all kinds of crap. You don't want to really be out there walking in there, okay? Because, there's sharp objects under the water that you couldn't see. And, think about, like snakes and stuff like that too. Homegrown eggs sell for $5 a dozen here in BC, Canada. Wow. That's crazy. Hey, Eric, thank you very much. Jefferson County, Missouri became an island twice, and it looks like a third time likely. Yeah, that's scary. Thank you for the donation, Eric, too. I appreciate that. Guys, I'm telling you, with what's going on out there, and now, of course, there's a lot of talk about weather modification and how this is being done on purpose and how this area is being targeted so that, and don't get me wrong, can they modify the weather? I truly believe that they can. So I think that, is this being done on purpose to drive prices up, to basically kill the will of these farmers to have their farms? Very well could be, okay? And that's kind of scary. Pasteurized eggs cost $6 a dozen in Tennessee. I did not know that. That's crazy. $3 a dozen here in Illinois. Well, maybe I'm underestimating what I should sell them for then. I don't really, but see, for me, guys, I'll be honest with you. When I get my chickens and they start to lay, I'm not looking to gouge people. I want people to eat well. I'm in Ontario. Hey, Rennie, thank you again. Well, I saw the CA, so I knew you were in Canada. So you're actually up in an area with a friend of mine that lives up there, and she's off-grid as well. Her name is Amanda. She has a little place completely off-grid up there. She is about 3 hours north of Toronto, so she's up there quite a bit. But again, I'm going to get back to the eggs real quick. I'm not looking to gouge people on the eggs. I'm not trying to make $1 million trying to sell the eggs. I want to give people good quality food that is very organic. And it's like when we start doing the greenhouses and growing stuff like that, we're going to have really, really organic things, not only for ourselves. And I can't wait to eat my own eggs. Don't get me wrong, but I definitely could not eat that many eggs. But I'm really, really excited to do that. And again, it helps people out again. So, I'm going to have to see. My neighbor sells me eggs for $1 a dozen. Yeah, it's like it costs $7 a dozen here in Michigan. That's what you want. That's why you want to get chickens. Wow, that's crazy. I don't really realize people are spending that much. Again, like I said, I'm going to probably try to keep it reasonable. I'm not looking to gouge anybody. It basically, if I can recoup the cost and get feed for the chickens, I would actually be very, very happy with that. That's kind of what I'm looking to do. Get an all-American canner, cooks on a campfire, no damage, and will never air. I'm going to tell you what I got to tell you a quick story, and anybody that's watched the channel for any length of time knows. I picked up an all-American canner. Hey, Rennie, again, thank you very much. I'm in Orangeville. Say hello for me. Okay, definitely. I will let her know that you're in Orangeville. So she'll probably know exactly where that is. I hit a garage sale a couple of years ago, and I picked up an all-American canner plus a regular other canner. I got them both for $20. So I already had a canner already, but the all-American canner, I guess the mother had passed away and they were selling all the stuff. And so I always try to bundle things if I can. So I said to the guy, I see you didn't have a price on this. I said, well, what if I buy that and this, and what do you say, $20? And the guy goes, yeah, fine, sure, that'll work. So I got a great deal. So I do have an all-American canner that I picked up for dirt cheap at a garage sale. I love garage sales, guys. You can get great, great deals at garage sales. How bad do you think things will get after the collapse, 1929 or worse? I think it'll be way worse, and I'm going to tell you why I think it would be way worse. Think about the number of people that were in the United States in 1929, and now the number of people that we have now, okay? A lot more people fighting for resources, okay? So, and on top of that, in 1929, most people in that generation did their own gardening. They all had big gardens, so they were able to supplement their food and stuff like that way. Think about how many people actually garden now. It's not a lot of people, guys. It's not a lot of people. So, and if you don't know what you're doing, you just can't put seeds in the ground and expect things to grow. It doesn't work like that. It really, really doesn't. So, that's why I talk to, when I talk to you guys about forming groups, I think that's really, really important, because you're going to have different people with different skill sets that can work together and help each other. Again, the biggest thing, the biggest advice that I would give anybody, if you have older people in your family, talk to them. If they have those skills from that generation, that they learned from their grandparents and their parents, get as much of that knowledge as you can before they're gone, because once they're gone, a lot of these skills, guys, are dying with this older generation, and that's a scary, scary thing if you think about it. And there's a lot of people that have no idea what to do. Do you think disease will be a problem from all the flooding? Absolutely, disease will be a huge problem. Think about, just because of so much water and the warmer temperatures, now you're going to talk about a ton of mosquitoes, okay? A lot of issues from that, a lot of contamination in the water. And let's talk about water now, okay? So here you have all this flooding, all this water is now contaminated. what are you going to do for drinking water? How are you going to get fresh drinking water? I mean, something to think about again, guys. And that's why I talk about those different things that you should have, a Berkey, a Catadine water filter, the Sawyer straws, a lot of different things. Hey, Rennie, thank you again very much. Yeah, I love preppers. They have great general skills. And that's the thing is, expand your skills, learn more things, okay? Learn as much as you can. Make yourself valuable to a group. That's really, really important. But the lack of water, the lack of water is your biggest fear. Mama tried Homestead. Yeah, I totally get that. Without fresh water, guys, fresh drinking water, you're dead in 3 days, okay? If you're drinking bad water, you're probably going to end up with dysentery, you're probably going to get diarrhea, and you're probably going to die, okay? Very, very scary stuff, very scary stuff. People really are not prepared for this, Joseph Lowry said. You're right, they're not, Joseph. That's the scariest thing, I think, more than anything else. 95% of the people in the United States are not prepared for a 2-week disaster. Let that sink in. Think about that, okay? 95% of the people do not have 2 weeks worth of fresh drinking water, 2 weeks worth of food. 95% of people don't have that. With the little amount of money that it would cost you to have enough of that food put away for that, okay, it's not a tremendous amount of money to put away for 2 weeks worth of food. It really, really isn't. My son is now woke at 15 and understands why I prep. Too bad he doesn't live with me. Well, you know what? At least he knows. And hopefully with your, guidance, he can start prepping. And I think that that's a really, really good thing. The flooded fields will have poison from the floodwaters. Great, great comment, our RV source. Great comment. And you are absolutely right. And, like I said, guys, it's like, this situation out there is going to affect a lot more people than just the people in that area. It's a trickle-down thing with that type of situation. Different growing zones and how long it takes to grow those seeds. Absolutely, Deborah. Great, great comment again. Know your zone. Know what's good in your area, what you can grow. If you can do greenhouses, even on a small scale, do it. Very, very important. Get those plants in the ground. Learn what works. Learn what doesn't work. Really, really important. Price of beef up and up. Yeah, think about guys. Think about. There was one thing that I read. The gentleman had 400 head of cattle. He was able to save 14 head of cattle. Lost the rest of them. So think about that. Okay, so let's talk about that too. Now you got these dead cows, dead pigs, dead goats, dead chickens, dead whatever in that water. Even their their dogs and cats and stuff like that they weren't able to rescue when they had to get out of there quickly. All those dead animals are in that water, rotting. So you're talking about somebody said thousands of cattle, hogs, chickens lost in Nebraska floods. Absolutely. Rumor has it 500 million lost cattle. Yeah, I mean, think about that, guys. Think about 500. So let's say it was only 100 million, not 500 million. Let's say it was 100 million. 100 million dead animals rotting, just cows rotting in that water. What do you think that's going to do to that water? And it's very, very scary. Farming is very hard work, Rennie just said. Yes, it is. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, anything that is worthwhile is not easy, okay? It really, really isn't. And it's just, that's what, you guys got to think about that. I mean, it's like doing different things to help yourself. It's not always easy, but it's very rewarding, and it gives you peace of mind. That's the biggest thing. I mean, don't do things out of fear. I don't want you guys doing things out of fear. Please don't do things out of fear. Think about it. What's my best option? What am I going to do for myself? Okay. I did want to mention that today is also the last day of the sale on my website. So to save the 20% off, using the discount code March 2019, and also it's the last day of the sale for the Keep in Shape. Rennie just said, yeah, that's absolutely good, and thank you again for the donation. But you know, the 183 meal package is on sale as well. That's a 40% savings right now. It's normally $380. It's on sale for $229 right now. And so that's a totally separate thing. They're right on my website. And today is the last day, 3 a.m. tonight, West Coast, midnight West Coast time, 3 a.m. East Coast time. The sale is going to be over. So if you're looking to add Legacy as part of your food storage for your long-term storage, it's a good time to take advantage of that, especially the 183 meal package deal. That's a great deal. 40% savings on that. It's a really, really good deal. So if you would like to take advantage of that, like I said, that sale ends tonight. So let's see. Hey, Mountain Girl, how you doing tonight, hon? Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for the donation. What will you grow to feed the chickens? There's so many different things that chickens will eat, guys. Like your scraps, like if you have your horseradishes radishes, your lettuce, your celery, whatever you don't use, you take that and throw that in that chicken coop pen. They will eat all that stuff. Okay. Like I said, if you have a chicken tractor type of thing, it's basically a movable little pen that they're contained in, but they can work the ground and all that type of stuff. Obviously, you're gonna have to keep an eye on that, but that's another great way. They're going to work the soil. They're going to eat grubs and bugs, and it's going to cut down on your cost of feed for your chickens. So there's a lot of different things, and you can actually, chickens love clover. They'll eat the grass. So there's a lot of different things that you can use that are not going to cost you a whole lot of money. Look up feeding chickens with compost. All right, that's I will definitely do that. Can Berkey handle toxic water or flood water? You know what? That is a question I do not have the answer to. I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they probably will. I know it, like if it was pond water and stuff like that, and that can be pretty nasty, it will definitely do that. You would have to look that up online as far as if it could handle toxic flood water. That is the answer. I don't have the answer. I wish I did. I will find out, and I will definitely let you guys know, because I actually use a Berkey. So give them squash and cucumbers. The seeds will help with any parasites. Okay, that's another great advice. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things that you can, like just out of your garden, guys, that you can give, your pets and stuff like that. Your pets, because that's what they're going to end up being. The chickens are going to definitely end up being pets. Goats eat anything. Yes, Rennie, they sure do. And again, thank you for another donation. I appreciate that. Goats do eat anything. They really, really, truly do. They're unbelievable. Goats, that's a good way to get your stuff down. If you're trying to clear out an area, tie a goat off to a tree and let him have that circle area, and he will clean that right up for you. Do you slaughter your own chickens after summer? I definitely will. When I have the chickens, you're going to want to keep them for a few years, because they're going to lay pretty good for a while. But as they get older, they're not going to be as effective anymore. Basically, you can slaughter them whenever you want to, but I will definitely do my own. I know that if that animal's had a good life and, you dispatch them humanely, it's part of the whole system, guys. That is absolutely part of the system. And I love chicken. I ain't going to lie. I mean, if I could eat chicken 7 days a week, I would eat chicken 7 days a week. That's how much I like chicken. So use a chain on the goat, they will eat a rope. Okay, that's okay. That absolutely makes sense. And you're right. They probably would eat right through a rope. How do you keep critters away? You have a lot of predators. And one of the things I'm going to do is, as far as like fencing, usually like raccoons can reach through a fence and they will get the chickens right through the fence and like rip their heads off and stuff like that. I don't mean to be graphic, but that's what they'll do. And other animals, other predators will do the same thing. So I actually plan on having two lines. I do plan on burying part of my fence underground, probably at least 2 foot underground for the fencing, so that the chickens so if an animal's going to try to dig, they can't dig under that fencing. And I plan on having like 2 rows. So here's row number 1, and then I plan on having another row farther back. So it's like that buffer zone. So whatever's trying to reach through can't get through to that other fence. And so that's what I plan on doing as far as that. I mean, you may call it overkill, but I want to make sure that the chickens are safe in their run area that they're going to have. And I'm also going to put netting up over the entire top of that area, because We have chicken hawks as well that will swoop down, and they will, kill the chickens that way too. I mean, we have a lot of different predators up here in the country, so we really have to, watch everything. Fox will try to sneak in and get them. Raccoons, a lot of different things, guys. We have fishers up here, so yeah, there's a lot of different predators. Chicken, rabbits, and goats are prepper's best meat source. That's what I have here. Jamie Prince said that. Yeah, they absolutely are. I mean, it's like, with rabbits are very lean and not a lot of fat on rabbits. So, but goats are great to have. We do plan on having goats up here too. Want to get the chickens first, get them going, and then we're going to work on a couple other projects this year, and then we'll just kind of see where we're at and what we can get going. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the rabbits this year or goats. We're going to see how the year goes, and we're just kind of play it by ear. If we can do it, then I definitely do plan on, getting, those other animals as well. Have to boil, cool, then microfilter, then another filter to take. I missed that when I went too fast. Yeah, fat deficiency will definitely kill you. You got to have fat in your diet, guys. That's really, really important. And rabbits are very, very lean. Berkey filters can remove a lot of stuff. Survival prepping, just put that on there. Keep the videos coming. Thank you, Funktard. I like that name. And thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Do you have a dog, Rennie asked. Yes, I have 2 dogs. They're brother and sister. They're fixed. They are half collie and half German shepherd. Very, very good pups. They will actually be a year old on the 28th of this month. So they will be a year old. So they're still babies. Another year, and then they'll actually be adults. So about 2 years old, they'll be full grown and stuff like that. Chickens at farm stores and Tractor Supply. Okay, Deborah, I know that they have them there, and they have ducks as well. I would not get my chickens from Tractor Supply. You have a lot of issues with those type of chickens. You can actually order whatever type of breed of chicken you want. There's different places that you can order chickens from where they're hatching all kinds of different chickens, and I think that's probably the best way to do it, and that's actually what I'm going to do. I haven't decided what breed yet. Shouldn't we preppers start building our own stores? Think about having your own Costco, Sam's Club, flea markets. We already have the inventory. Mrs. Vital Survivor. Thank you for the donation too, by the way. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's really, I'm going to tell you what, bartering, guys, and I know some people have said no to bartering. I think bartering is going to be huge after SHTF, but it's going to need to be done in a very, very secure area with a lot of security, and where security is guaranteed, because you're going to have nefarious people, I'm telling you right now, and there's going to be people out there looking to take what you have, looking to steal from you. But I really think that there is going to be a lot of bartering after an SHT, a huge, if it was worldwide, United States wide, I think that there's going to be a huge bartering community going on after that. Prepper markets, yes. Ozark Prepper just said that. Could you eat lard as fat in your diet? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can take lard and, if you're frying up eggs, and take lard and use that, and that's going to get, integrated in that as well. The cast iron cookware, using lard with cast iron cookware, great way to do it, okay? And if you don't have cast iron cookware, I imagine you should probably get it. Can eat G as fat. Yeah, and making G. I'm going to be doing a video on that this year, guys, so you can see how we make G. It's definitely a good thing to have. Unlimited shelf life with that as well. Great stuff to have. And again, there's another fat substitute. Lard, again, a great fat substitute. So you're going to want to try to get your fats as you can. You really do need to have them in your diet. So that's really, really important. Stock up on toilet paper. James just said, yeah, it's nice to have toilet paper. Premerson too, Mountain Girl just said, yeah, there. You know what? I've never had Premerson, so I don't know what it tastes like. But that is definitely a good one to have. And so, yes, that is definitely a good one to have. Can you freeze G? Yes, you can freeze it. Absolutely you can. But you don't have to. That's the best part. As long as it hasn't been opened yet, you can just put that on a shelf and it's going to be perfectly fine. So you don't have to freeze G at all. Boiled bacon grease. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you what I do whenever we make bacon. I actually have like a cup, and I have a cup completely full of bacon fat, grease, and we use that for cooking. Yeah, the Premison, 3 ingredients total. Nutrition lasts years at room temperature. And I know that. I've heard that too. I don't know what it tastes like, though. I definitely want to try that. And we may try to make that this year. Okay, well, here, actually, I'll be right back. Let me grab something real quick, guys. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So here is a jar of ghee, okay? So right there, and that's just like that. And that just sits on the shelf, and until you open it, I mean, after you open it, then I would refrigerate it. But great stuff to have, really, really awesome, okay? So that just, like I said, it's just been sitting on the shelf. This was made 11/14 of 18, okay? So really, really good stuff to have. I will be doing a video on how to make that this year, okay? So you guys will definitely see that. But yeah, it's easy as that, and great to have. Great fat source. Let's see. Yeah, save the bacon grease. Absolutely, is a very smart thing to do. Absolutely a smart thing to do. I have a meat grinder and purchasing a hand grinder tomorrow. Very cool. Good to have. Yeah, I definitely want to get a hand grinder as well. I don't have that yet. That's one of the things, of course, on my list. I have a ton of stuff. Have you considered sunflowers to press the seeds for oil? You know what? Again, it's another fatty source, that oil and stuff like that. So yeah, sunflower seeds, put them in, grow them. You're going to get a ton of sunflower seeds out of that. You can save them, regrow them. Good to have. You can eat them, put a little salt on them. Again, if you want to have salt with them, great to have. Nuts provide fat also. I can tan acorns, grind them down for baking. Yes, you can. Absolutely. Mountain Girl just said that. Clarified butter oil, and it keeps. Yep, that's what G is. So, live for soap making. That's a good point. Truth Freeze just put that up there. Again, there's a lot of great stuff out there, guys. A lot of great information. You're going to need fat. Think about that, okay? So you definitely want to have fat. So, we need to have it in our diet. Again, like I said, rabbits are great. They breed like crazy. You can use the pelts for a lot of things, but there's not a lot of fat content on a rabbit. So that's something to think about. Hand tools were the go-to tools before electricity, huge during the Depression as well. Philip, good comment. I really appreciate that comment. I look all the time for old tools, old school tools, because that's when they made stuff to last. And so I have a lot of, you might want to call them antique tools, but I look every time I go to a garage sale, I'll always ask, do you have any tools? Do you have any ammo? I always ask that too. And a lot of places are going to have different stuff. Do you have any canning jars? Do you have any type of stuff for canning? Always ask those questions because they may have it and might not have it out yet. A lot of older people are dying, and a lot of their supplies are there. And the family a lot of times has no idea what the worth of those things are. Rennie again, ammo. Thank you. Yep. Thank you for the donation as well. Yes. The inner layer of sheep hide can be used as a swab. Smitty just put that on our swab. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of things, guys, that can be used. I mean, learn how to tan hides if you can, or just get that information. Here's the biggest important thing that there's all kinds of information right now available on the internet, a ton of information. If you don't have books on how to do different things, download this information, put it in a folder, a binder, something, and get that information in writing. Because when SHTF happens, and if the entire grid were to go down in that type of situation, there's no more going on the internet for anything. You're going to have what you have. Now's not the time at that point to go to the store. Whatever information you have is going to be it. And whatever, tools, whatever food, whatever medical supplies, whatever you have at that point, that's going to be it. Gasoline on hand, it's going to be it. Started a binder and added to my books for recipes for different items and hacks. Angela, great comment. Great comment. recipes, guys. Angela, thank you for saying that. Different recipes. I am not a chef, okay? So if you were relying on me to feed you, you'd be getting a lot of bland food. If you have recipes and written down recipes, different things to use, how to make soups, casseroles, all those different types of things, really, really smart, okay? Really, really smart to have, because having a bunch of food is great, but being able to change the variety, change the taste, the texture of that food is going to be a huge thing. It's, you know, if you ate rice every single day for, 2 months, you'd be so sick of rice you wouldn't want to ever have rice again. But if you could take that rice, mix it with different things, change the taste of that rice with spices and stuff like that, it's not going to be the same. So, you know, that's really important. It was a great comment, Angela. Thank you so much. I'm glad you said that, because having different recipes, again, is a great thing. Okay, so what do we got here? Still shows an error when trying to sign into Prepper Nurse One community. We have a contact information on the site, guys. If you're having any problems getting signed in for the Prepper Nurse One community, again, it's a great place to meet other like-minded people on my website at preppernurse1.com. Really a great place to connect, talk with other people, and and interact and talk with like-minded people. If you're trying to form a group in your state, it's a great way of doing it, okay? There's finding like-minded people that are not going to judge you, that are not going to call you crazy. That's a great way to do it. If you're having any problems, we do have a contact number. My IT guy, Mike, who's awesome. I can't ever say enough about Mike. Also, his girlfriend, she's awesome as well. I have Evil as a moderator, and, I have, other moderators as well. All my moderators are great. Dharma is one of my moderators, and they're absolutely awesome people. And but like for the IT stuff, Mike is going to help anybody if has any issues. Just contact him, and he can walk you through. Rennie says, have some gold and silver coins. Rennie, good comment. I would say ditch the gold. Don't get gold. I would say stick with silver. Easier to get rid of. Gold is going to be very, very hard to get rid of in knowing what the denomination is, and you're wasting a lot of money on gold. I would rather have silver, small denominations, dimes, quarters, those type of things. Even if you went with the ounce bars of silver, another way to do it, or silver, dollars, that type of thing. I would definitely say have some, but commodities are going to be worth more than any kind of gold or silver ever will be, guys. That's really important, okay? What's the website to communicate with other preppers? Okay, on my website, preppernurse1.com, if you go there, and the link is it's always in the description. Click on that, go to there. It's called the Prepper Nurse One PN1 community. You click on that, you register, very private. The only people that can go into the community are people that are registered. And so it's very discreet. So somebody off the street just can't come in and see what everybody's doing. And it's a really, really great way to interact with other people, like-minded people. Just if you're going in there to talk and try to bounce ideas off each other. I'm going to tell you what, guys, we all have a lot of great ideas, and it makes a big, big difference, I think. And it's really, really helpful. And working together. And that's what I always talk about. When I talk about working together, that's part of it. Interacting with each other is great. Gold, silver, and lead, Rennie just said. Yeah, definitely invest in lead, guys. Yeah, make sure you have plenty of that, because when SHTF happens, you're not going to be able to get any more. You're not going to be able to get any more. That's the important thing to remember. A washboard for good scrubbing of clothes in SHTF situation. Very good comment, Phyllis. Yes, a good washboard is definitely a good thing to have to add to your preps. Not hugely expensive. So, that's definitely something that you would want to have. I know that I've seen different things where people used a bicycle and a garbage can so that it would spin the garbage can. While, it's another way of doing it as well. Maple sap is still running. Yes, Andrew, it is. Maple sap is great to have. It's a great thing that you can be used. If you know how to do that, it's a great thing to have. Ground horse chestnut nuts makes excellent laundry powder, foamy. Oh, very cool. That's Survival Prepping 101 just said that. Thank you for that information. That's great to know. The Seal manual washer on Amazon is under they sell a manual washer on Amazon for under $100. Cindy Cross just said that. Cross Stitch. Great information again. Thank you for saying that. So yeah, so you can get a manual washing machine for under $100 if you want, right on Amazon. She just said there's a lot of great stuff out there, guys, that you can get. I mean, if you can afford to do it, like I said, the first thing I would recommend to anybody, if somebody was brand new, had never done any prepping before at all, 2 weeks worth of food and water to start out with. Then add from there, stocking up on, warm, dry clothes, wool socks, wool blankets. Again, depending on what part of the country you are, you want to think about those things. Spring is soon, Ed. Time to shave that off your chin. It's looking like a dead cat. Oh, thank you, Tim. That's I don't know if I'm going to shave it off. I haven't decided yet, honestly. I may keep it on there. I'm not sure. I may shave it. I don't know. But the goatee will always be there. But I don't know. I'm kind of getting used to it. I'll tell you a funny story. My daughter and I went out to get something to eat the other night. You're going to love this story. So I get a salad, and I have blue cheese dressing. So I get it on the side. So it's in a little container like this. Okay. You have a lot of great people here, Rennie said. Yes, we do. The community here, guys, is awesome. You guys are absolutely great. I can't say enough. So anyway, so I'm eating the salad, and so I put it, and then I would get a little of the dressing, and I would get some lettuce, and I reached down like this to eat it. And Heather says, "Oh my God, Dad." She goes, "Don't move." And I go, "What?" I go, "I didn't feel anything fall on my beard." She goes, "No, the bottom part of my beard, I had dipped it into the salad dressing. So I had white salad, blue cheese salad dressing on the bottom of it." I laughed so hard. She actually, I think she took a picture of it. And so, yeah, it was pretty funny. Oh, we wiped it off, and it was good. Actually got to meet with the Revolting Man for about 3 hours today, along with some other folks in my area. Learned a lot. Mike just said that 184. Thank you for the donation, Mike. I appreciate that. Thank you. And that's awesome. Anytime you guys can get together with other like-minded people, that is absolutely awesome. That's a great thing to do. And it's, meeting with like-minded people is absolutely very, very cool. And so, there's the information that we can share with each other is just great. Bouncing ideas off each other. This worked for me. This didn't work for me. Again, it's that's one of the things I like sharing about with what we're doing here. Sharing what worked, what didn't work. And that's that's important. I think it's a big part of what we're doing is sharing that information and trying to help each other. Blue cheese Ed, Randy Newman just said, yeah, right. Where to find the meds to stockpile? Fish antibiotics. Okay, Carolyn just asked that question. Tractor Supply will have them. You can also probably get them at Walmart. They have fish mocks with which is the amoxicillin. They also have penicillin. Definitely check out other things that they have. And Lori just said, please more show the puppies more. I definitely will. When the weather gets nicer, guys, the puppies will be out more. We're kind of limiting them because they've been a little bit naughty. So we have to watch them pretty good when we're outside. They're doing a lot better, though. But they had a period where they ran off a couple times and actually ran up to see their mom, who lives behind us. And so that's where my buddy Greg and his wife live, is up behind us. And so that's where their mother is. So they go up and visit Mom, which is pretty funny. What department do the Walmart have the fish mocks in? Angela, they would have in with the animal department, for fish, because it's a fish antibiotic. Okay, so you're looking at where you can, basically when you walk into Walmart, ask them, where do you keep your fish mocks? And they can take you right to it. It's the best way to do it. That's what I did with Tractor Supply. I walked in. I said, where's your fish mocks? And the guy said, oh, it's over here. It took me right to it. Boom. And they had the 4 bottles of fish mocks, and I bought them all. So Lynn just said fish mocks pulled from their shelves. Is she talking about Walmart? Maybe. I don't know. You can also get them online, guys, if you want to do it online. But if you have a Tractor Supply definitely has them. Kathy Bishop said the beard makes you look old. I know. But here's the thing, guys. Before I shave this off, which I probably will when the weather gets warmer because it's going to get too hot, I got to get out on a bike a couple times with the beard this long. I've never had my beard this long in my life. So, do you know about secret societies and what's your take on them running the show? There's definitely people behind the doors that run everything. There's definitely people that are making decisions, as far as that goes. And, we are not in that group, and they're not doing anything for us. They're doing it for themselves. There's definitely in their eBay, Amazon.chewy.com. Somebody just put that up there. There's a lot of places. If you go online, guys, and if you just want to go online and get it, there's definitely places online to get fish mocks. So if you're looking to do that, that is definitely a way to do it. What's my thought on saving nickels? Actually, I would save pennies more. Predated like before 1980, they have more copper in those pennies. So those are good to definitely have, as far as that goes. So that's definitely a good thing to save. So that I would do that before I would save nickels. But you can save nickels, and you could melt down that, for that lead if you wanted to do that too. Did you hear about the new Canadian food pyramid, all grains? I missed that. I'm sorry. LOL, you're not old. I can tell by your eyes. No, I'm definitely not old. I don't feel old. Up here, I always tell people I'm a 12-year-old trapped in a 53-year-old body. So, but again, Rennie, thank you again for the donation. I appreciate it. Why are the pennies good? Copper, guys. Actually, pennies, if you save I think they got to be older than, I think it's 1980. If you save those pennies, they're actually worth more than a penny, believe it or not. Now, they tell you, Julie, we have spring flowers and a lovely flower. Oh, cool. Oh, and the flower. Yeah, okay. Spring flowers in my flowery beer. Yeah, I'll put flowers in there. That'll be great. Thank you for the donation, too, by the way. That's funny. Yeah, pre-1982 have a lot of copper, Robert just said. Yeah, so the copper is actually worth more than a penny. So if you save your copper, now if you melted it down and then turned it in, it's actually worth more, but you're not supposed to do that, just so you know. But if you want to save the older pennies, it's definitely a smart thing to do. Gold has no beneficial auxiliary uses. You're right. Quarters and nickels before 1964, more silver. Yes. Your pre-1964 quarters are definitely going to have a lot more. Like if you get a 1964 quarter, it's actually worth about $6.75. I think is the last time I checked that was the range of what that was worth. So yeah, it's definitely, if you can get them, they're very few and far between. I get one once in a great while. I always check all my coins, but they're definitely good to have. Oh my God, it's already that time, guys. Holy crap, I can't believe it. Okay, I wasn't even paying attention, and here we are. All right, guys, so I'm going to end the show. I will be doing another live stream tomorrow, so that'll be my normal day. So I wanted to do today to make up because I missed yesterday, so I wanted you guys to know. Philip just said your beard is part of your personality now, Ed. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, guys. We'll see. I mean, I haven't really decided if I'm going to keep it or get rid of it. I'll basically play it by ear. And what I might do is shave the sides down and just keep the goatee part of it. I don't know yet. I really haven't decided. But anyway, I'm going to end the show for now, guys. I will be back on tomorrow. I'm going to be doing another live stream tomorrow at the normal time, 8 o'clock. And but remember, guys, we are all in this together. That's really important to remember. We want to try to support each other as much as we can. The prepper community, the off-grid community is not a huge community, okay? So when there's a lot of infighting, that's just, it's useless. It's a waste of energy and time. So if we can support each other, that's the best way to do it, And remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. And remember, guys, STD, okay? One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. It's a weird acronym, I know, and everybody knows what STD stands for. But my way is different, and it's better because you don't forget that acronym. But the thing is, if you put it in the right context, it's a great way to think about things. Work at things methodically. You can reach whatever goals you want to. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself. And remember, guys, stay away from that negativity. Stay away from negative people. All they want to do is bring you down. They're full of hate, and they're very, very sad people, and that's we got to feel sorry for them. But don't feed into that negativity, okay? So I will see you guys all tomorrow. I hope everybody's having a great weekend, and I will talk to you later. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.